All right, what is up, YouTube? I am here today, very, very special treat. I'm here with Fivefire, who today, yes, Fivefire, the Fivefire, very, very, very good and talented League of Legends player. He's going to be, he's going to be teaching me, and then hopefully by extension, you guys. He's going to be teaching Yone, which, will be a ton of fun. So I guess I'll just share my screen with you for now. Yeah, we're gonna do it that way. And I'm gonna hop into practice tool, and you can share your screen as well.
I'll hop into the practice tool.
Yeah. And what we'll do is we can cycle between both. I'm gonna kind of be using you as a reference point as well on Discord here. But I guess to get started, blind pickable.
Honestly, if you have a big enough ego, then yes, this champ is blind pickable. He has some bad matchups, but they are playable, and also he's flexible. So you can play him mid and top, so your opponent might not necessarily know where you're going. And also, even like you can just take a very defensive rune setup, for example, or things like that, and it'll make him blind pickable. It's not really a big deal. He's very strong.
Cool. So where would you recommend mostly? Like if you're in solo queue, and let's just say for the purposes of discussion, right? We're trying to get like the ego win rate, right? The big win rate. Would you prefer to play in top like Zookill or mid?
Ooh, it's a tough question. I'm Midlaner. I prefer to play in mid. I also think his bad matchups mid are not nearly as bad as his matchups top. So I would say that's the main thing. All right. Before you lock in, quickly, do your runes. So now in this new preseason, in season 12, you get to go lethal tempo on Yone, which actually should make him even stronger than he was before, which is like kind of ridiculous. Like this champion was already rank 1 EU and now he's even stronger. Luckily, lethal tempo did get nerfed a little bit, but I mean, it's still like super strong.
For the practice tool, do you want me to back out and switch to lethal? Did you have anything planned for that?
Yeah.
Okay, we can swap it.
There's some really important stuff with the new runes.
No. That's good. I'm glad you corrected me, because I can go back and just load it up again. It's no problem.
Yeah.
So, all right. So we're gonna go lethal. All right, lethal, and I assume triumph.
You go triumph, yeah. And actually here because you have lethal tempo, you get to go bloodline. Because you don't actually need the attack speed from Alacrity. You'll get enough attack speed normally.
Interesting.
Your lethal tempo and your other things, your item stuff. For this, normally you're going to be going last stand. Yone is actually really good at being low HP and killing people. You can go cut down if you're versus like a bunch of tanks, but usually it'll be last stand. And then for your secondary runes, typically you're going to want to be going resolve. If you just have like the biggest dick in the universe, you can go sorcery and go absolute focus gathering storm and play for extra scaling that way. But normally what you're going to want to go here is actually pretty much anything in the second or third row is good depending on the game. So you're gonna have to do a little bit of your own thinking here. But so for example, in the second row, conditioning is really good. If you've got like a free lane, you get some free scaling. Second wind, obviously if you're gonna be getting hit a lot in lanes, champions that will just want to hit you over and over and over, it's really good mid lane because there's lots of mages and ranged champions, things like that. They'll just keep poking at you. Bone plating, if the champion is more all in, this bone plating is also better top lane because you'll more fight to the death against a lot of guys.
Got it.
But any of those three is fine. You'll sort of get a feel for which ones are best. Conditioning is always a safe bet if you don't know what to go, because it'll do something at least. And then in the third row, overgrowth or revitalize are pretty much just like completely normal, but you can go unflinching.
Yeah, keep talking, you're good.
But you can go unflinching if the enemy has a lot of CC, obviously. And actually one important thing to note is revitalize is actually low-key really good on Yone. It's actually my favorite rune on him for a few reasons. Number one is you will always have your revitalized when your shield bow procs. Because the heals and shields you cast or receive are 10% stronger on targets below 40% health. You'll always be below 40% when your shield bow procs, and you'll get a bigger shield. And it also works on your W shield, which after some buffs that happened towards the end of last season can actually get massive now. So revitalize is actually pretty good. And even another bonus is if someone else on your team has healing, you've got a Soraka or a Sona or a Seraphine, something like that, that will also amplify it, or shields as well.
Got it.
So there is actually quite a bit of nuance in the runes, but like this is like a good default rune setup. And yeah, go attack speed, AD, and whatever defense.
What do you think about scaling health right now?
It is actually really good, especially if you don't quite know what you're playing into.
Okay.
Or even in mid lane, a lot of times you'll be playing against mages who will attack you a lot, but then also hit you with spells. So scaling health can be completely fine there.
Cool. Excellent. Well,
but yeah, I mean that's just the runes. So you can see this champion has a lot of depth to him.
No, that's cool. So generally speaking, I assume it's going to be a D shield start most of the time. At least that was my understanding of his identity, or am I completely...
Yeah. So in the mid lane, D shield is going to be really common. You're going to be against a lot of champions that are hitting you a little bit. But actually, again, thanks to Riot gifting us the new lethal tempo, D blade start has become a lot better, because there are actually a lot of matchups where, because of lethal tempo, you can just fight a guy to the death and you will win. So you can start D-Blade more often than not, but D-Shield is definitely the safe option. Basically, I'm pretty much gonna go through every single one of your abilities one by one, because each has something that's like a little special or a little unique that you need to think about. Some have a lot of things you need to think about, but we get to start off easy with just the passive. So the passive, the two main parts is your every second attack deals 50% magic damage, which is actually not insignificant. If you look at Yone's damage spread over the course of the game, he actually does about 20% magic damage and also close to 20% true damage because of his E. So you actually don't even have to be scared of picking Yone into a thing like a Malphite or something, right? Normally, if you're a full AD team comp, you'd be like, oh no, we can't win. But Yone actually has like about 40% magic and true damage total. So he's like almost half and half. And then he has the same thing as Yasuo, where all the crit he buys is increased, but his crits do less damage. The one important thing to note here is you get bonus AD if you have more than 100% crit, so you can build multiple crit items and not feel bad if you have more than 100%, basically.
Cool, okay.
So like normally shield bow IE, which will be like usually the first two core items you're building, will bring you to 100%. But then you'll see Yone's build like Bloodthirster or things like that, which will normally you'd think you're wasting the crit, but you actually get the bonus AD. So
excellent.
Oh, I also forgot to mention your W also does magic damage. So you've got magic damage in just random places all over your kit. That's what you get for playing a more recent champion. You get some benefits. Nice.
Yes, the newer updated champions. Yes, got it.
Yes, it's very good. And so Yone, now moving on to your Q, which there's going to be a lot of stuff to talk about with this Q. It's your most important spell, probably next to your E. Obviously, you have this sort of Yasuo style where you sort of get these stacks that build up. Game buff tooltip Yone Q, thanks Riot. And you get your third stack, and you go dash forward with your tornado, right? Actually, I'm going to turn off these minions because they're annoying. But the important thing to note with your Q is that it scales off of the cooldown, scales off of attack speed, right? Just like Yasuo. And so you see here it has almost a 4-second cooldown, right? But this is where lethal tempo already starts to be kind of broken, because if I just whacked on this guy a little bit, remember my Q cooldown was something like 3.79 seconds or something like that.
Yeah, I didn't even notice
my
this.
Q is now 1.89. So I'm actually insanely strong. My Q is half the cooldown, and lots of people won't expect this, and you can kind of catch a lot of people off guard early game with your lethal tempo.
Wow, this is I did not know that. Wow. Yeah, I did not know. It's crazy. So, okay, cool.
Yeah, it's a little bit ridiculous. So that's the main thing with lethal tempo. The other like kind of important parts of this spell is number one, you can flash it, so you can do that normal Q flash. You can also do a flash with the tornado, which when you're at higher attack speeds is really, really hard for people to dodge. Like this will be one of your main combo starters because people just can't dodge it.
Wait, show
like
me
if
again?
you dodge this, you're just on 0 ping living in Riot's basement, right? Like I think that's the only real way you can dodge something like this.
Oh, it's a Q flash. Wait, I'm bad. I don't have my, hold on. 1, 2, 3. Oh, I'm dumb again. 1, 2. So it's a Q flash. Oh, okay. Wow. Yeah, that's I did not know. That's no joke.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. And you can also do it with your Q1 and Q2. You can also Q flash. Obviously, it's not quite as useful, but if you would like need to get that last stack,
that's Yasuo-esque, right? Yeah.
Yeah. And then and it's really insane. Mainly, like I just want to like double down on the fact because they cannot react to it. Like a lot of Yone's like combos are actually kind of easy to react to. They're very telegraphed because you like run at them with your E, right? You're just this big red like demon chasing after them. Like yeah, definitely I'm not gonna run away from this guy, right? Or try to dodge his stuff. But Q flash is like really undodgeable, and so you can do a lot of crazy setups with that.
Got it. And
then the last little thing is you can do lots of wall hops with your Q. So you can like hop random walls all over the map. It's actually really good in combination with your E, because your E can also do little wall hops. So you can do certain things, like if I really want to farm raptors but I'm stuck over this wall, and I do this and then I go back and then I have my Q3 and then I go back over, like you're just flipping all over the map. But you can use this for like little things like farming and whatnot. Or like a really common one is if you want a solo dragon, like let's say I fuck up this blast cone, whoops, no, you can do this, come over here, get your Q3, go back over, go back, and boom. You can just farm it like this. Got it.
So it's essentially just setting yourself up.
Yeah,
when mistakes
and there's
happen.
Lots of like neat little tricks you can do with stuff like that. Like you can if there's someone farming like this Gromp, like you can go over, like you can fight them or whatever, and like let's just assume I got my Q3 back, like you can sit back here, then you can chill, and then you can like Q3 flash on them, and you can almost like play with them, and they never really get a chance to fight you because you always have the opportunity to go back to your E or whatever.
Yeah, I've definitely ran into this in solo queue with some of the higher elo ones, where like you definitely feel like they have a lot more tools than you think. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Yone has a lot of what I like to just call bullshit moments where you're like, what did this champion just do? Like, what did he just do to me? And so like definitely pulling those off as the Yone is so much fun, especially when you're pulling it off against like really good players and they just say like, what? Like this champion's OP, needs to get nerfed, stuff like that.
Hi there. Have you ever been watching a NEACE video and thought to yourself, wow, NEACE is angry. E and then R and now stay on it. Where are you going? NEACE is mad. Everyone's playing so bad. Why can't NEACE just be more chill? Commit. Fuck. Well, you're in luck, because now for the first time ever, there is a new YouTube channel. It's time to do crazy Q stacking industrial farming NEACE, a place that expands on the NEACE cinematic universe. I honestly, oh my god, I'm already terrible at it. This might take a couple goes. Introducing Chill NEACE. Subscribe now. That was a lot of damage. That was a banger, boys.
That's like the basics of Q, more or less.
Okay.
But all right, next, W. This is actually probably one of our most boring spells. Like I said, the other spells are way cooler. Basically, you just hit this guy and you get a shield. Riot did buff it to give actually a pretty big shield, and it gives a really big shield if you hit a bunch of people. Like you can see here, like this is just level 1 W. I have no items, and I'm getting like a 150, 200 HP shield. Which is kind of ridiculous. Also, similar to your Q, your W does have reduced cooldown if you have more attack speed. So see here, it's like 14.5 second cooldown. Stack my lethal tempo, and it's 7-second cooldown. So it's already like half the cooldown. Which
Wait,
is
did you just say the W is affected by this?
Yeah, your W is also affected by attack speed.
I did not know that.
Yeah, so that's also why almost every game without fail, you're going to want to rush Berserker Greaves because they give 35% attack speed for only 1100 gold.
Got it.
And sometimes even you can just buy like extra daggers. It's not really needed anymore with lethal tempo ever since we stopped using Conqueror. But if you have just random 300 gold and you don't know what to do, just buy a dagger. And it lowers the cooldown on both your Q and W, and it'll feel really good.
Cool. Wow. Okay. Excellent.
Also, other things, you can W flash. It is possible. You will almost never do this because you really want to save your flash for Q flash, or just like get away from a gank or something like that. But it is possible to do. And then one little funny thing is your W actually does only 10 base damage, and then the rest is max HP damage. So it cannot kill small krugs.
Okay, interesting.
This is not really important, but it's just something a little funny. Oh, and then the other small thing with your W is because it is percent max HP, it's actually percent max HP physical and magic damage. So it's actually really good at killing tanks. Because like, I mean, percent max HP damage, and then it's both types of damage, so they usually won't have both armor and MR. So that's just like one thing to keep in mind is your champion is actually pretty good at killing tanks because of your mixed damage sources and because of your E, which we can now get to, the most insane Yone ability, which you can just do a million different things with.
Okay.
So the very first thing I want to talk about with the E, which is just when I was going through my notes, very first thing that came to mind, is your E can immune crowd control, which is like really, really good. And this will like separate the like insane Yone players from just like your average Joe. All right. Because basically when you're sitting here, when you press E and snap back, there's a 0.25 second cast time where you're immune to CC and you will just snap back. So I'm gonna try to hit it on this. I should be able to hit it on this dragon knockback, and I should be able to immune it. Yeah. So it's a bit hard to tell, but I did not get knocked back by the dragon there.
Okay, that time I did. So wait. So show me again.
Okay, so
yeah, I'm watching.
Basically, you're out in your E. It's for when you snap back. So you just hit it and then whoop. And I didn't get CC at all. The dragon didn't even get to hit me that time.
That time I did it. Okay, cool. Didn't know. There's definitely, it's a weird window, right? Like it's a weird.
Yeah, it's a very small window. It's 0.25 seconds. So like you have to really, it's something that you need to play a lot of Yone games to get a feel for. But I mean, you can literally immune pretty much like everything thrown at you. There are some CCs that like just lock you in place instantly. Like if you get Malzahar ulted, I don't think you can E it. Maybe you actually can. Honestly, I would like
it would have to be like
try.
frame perfect, right? Like you would just have to get lucky.
I would like to see someone try. But like your average like Leona stun or like Syndra stun or like a knockback, knock up, anything like that, you can always immune it. And it's really insane because it means your opponents basically just never get a chance to actually fight you, right? You just like snap back, you're not CC'd, all this good stuff. Also, a really tiny thing, but in the Zoe matchup, if you are slept and you go back to your E, you can actually see a little bit when I'm going back to my E, it says I'm unstoppable. That will cleanse the Zoe sleep off of you. Which is why a lot of times you'll see Yone picked into Zoe and high elo because
I was confusing because I saw it. You can
pretty much never be slept.
I always thought that Zoe would like, because obviously I played a lot of Tryndamere mid when I was playing high elo, and I was like, oh, Zoe into a melee. I remember I was reviewing one of the like competitive games. And I was like, oh, Zoe into a melee. That's such a terrible matchup for the Yone. And then people are like, no.
Yeah,
it's not.
Yeah, at the Zoe, you feel really good until until you sleep him and this happens, and then your sleep is on a 20-second cooldown and he's just running at you, right? Like he has a free cleanse against you, which is really, really annoying.
Cool, interesting. Okay, cool.
But so that's just the first thing with the E. The second thing with the E is actually, so you do this little dash, right? To start off the E, which is like pretty good for closing the gap. But then it also gives you move speed that ramps up. So like if you look at my move speed here, I go up to 390 and then I go up all the way to 440 at about halfway through the E. So this can really let you chase a lot of people down. I mean, it's an insane move speed by the end. It scales up to 30%, which I don't know off the top of my head how much Ghost is, but I think it's close to that. So you basically get a free Ghost if you're in your E long enough.
Wow.
Which actually brings me to like a big point about using the E is you want to be able to use it when you can like chase someone down and hit them a lot, right? Obviously because of the like damage factor, you want to do as much damage as possible, so when you snap back you do the most, but also just because you can run people down. If someone has used all their spells, if you've been fighting someone for like 5 seconds and they used all their spells on you and then you E at them, you can just keep hitting them and keep chasing them down and keep hitting them, especially with your lethal tempo, and then you snap back and you're safe. So
got it. Cool.
That's like a bigger picture thing with E. You really don't want to just use your E randomly, because obviously your opponents know exactly where you're going to be in like 5 seconds, and
they just camp it. Yeah, they just sit on top of it.
You can just camp it. Yeah.
Where are you gonna go, buddy?
Yeah, and then also obviously don't use your E to run away because you will snap back. But even beyond that, your E, your spirit that you leave behind, or your body, I guess you leave behind, gets pushed actually behind you. So like I'm standing on this ward, my body actually gets put even behind me, right? So if you're using it to run away, you're just literally putting yourself actually closer to your opponents after a few seconds.
I never noticed this. I don't know how I didn't notice this.
No, I mean, it's one of those tiny things because whenever you press the ability, you're not worried about where your body is. You're worried about where you're going. You're worried about going and killing some people.
Yeah. I you know, that's actually a really nice detail for facing a Yone. I did not. Huh. Okay. Cool. Excellent.
Yeah. Although you can use your E to like buy time. Like it's really common. Yeah. Like if I'm just standing here and like there's some enemies here and I feel like I'm completely screwed. Like if I go over here and like this is a creep or something and I can like stack my Q off it, I can like go back and then like Q away or Q into them and try to turn it, something like that.
Yeah.
So
of course.
It's not that bad as like a last resort, but don't get in the habit of pressing E to try to get away from people because obviously that shit does not work. It just looks really funny and everyone's going to question mark ping you and everyone's going to meme you. So
perfect.
Some other like one really tiny thing with the E, we just talked about something really big, is your E actually doesn't add all types of damage. It does work on your autos, your W, your ult. It works even on things like red buff and ignite. However, it doesn't work on Gale Force for some reason. As you see, it doesn't add any mark to this guy.
Interesting.
So that's just one little thing to keep in mind if you're trying to like finish someone off who's low HP and you think E Gale Force will kill them. No, it will not. I've had it happen before. It's very sad. And similarly, Kraken's true damage, I think, also doesn't apply. I'm not 100% sure, but most games you'll be going shield bow. Kraken or Gale Force is like another option, but most.
So
games
the play you're talking about is you were chasing somebody. You wanted to Gale Force and pop the E to kill them, but it didn't actually add.
Yeah, but the E didn't actually give a mark. And so when I went back, I was like, wait, what? That guy was supposed to take like another 50, 60 damage and he just didn't. So I was really sad.
Got it. Interesting. Okay, cool.
Yeah, that's just another little thing. I already mentioned you can do wall hops with it. It is a lot shorter range than your Q. So like, I don't know if you can even, okay, you can barely hop this wall. But there are some thicker walls that you can
I didn't know you could hop this one.
I mean, you can, again, like I said, hop over Dragon, hop over Baron. You can hop this wall if you're close, but like you see even here, I failed it one time, so it can be a little risky. But your E in general is just like a very insane tool. Like you can use it to do a lot of things, to be very creative. Like you can use it to just scout with your body. You can use it to ward even. Because like I said, you can always dodge CC. If you time your E correctly, right? Like even if there's a Leona waiting here to stun me, I can go back and I shouldn't get CC'd and I shouldn't die.
Got it.
But yeah, I mean, you can use it to ward. You can use it to farm if like your wave is like really bad. It's like all the way up here or something like that. And you're scared. Like if the enemy jungler is over here or something, you can obviously just E, walk up, start farming and go back. You just have to be ready to go back because they will try to camp your body and you will be really sad if you go back to your body and there's 5 people standing around it and you're dead, obviously.
Yeah.
But yeah, in general, it's just like a super useful ability. Also, last thing is your E, it puts this mark over them. Yeah. This mark will actually change when the target is supposed to die.
Yes, I'm aware of this. Yeah, it turns to that black thing.
This one, it like shows it gets split on this skin, for example.
Yeah, I see it here on my end.
So your mark will show when they're supposed to die, but this is only based off their HP. It's not actually based off of like if they have any shielding or things like that.
Oh, okay.
So you need to be a little bit careful. But in general, like if you're just fighting someone in lane and you see this mark, you can press E and they will die.
Cool. Okay.
You have to find the right balance between like just proccing it because they're gonna die, and do they have like something that can heal them or shield them or whatever, or if you want to like keep going to guarantee the kill, things like that.
Got it. Cool.
So that's most of what you can do with his E. I'm sure there's some things I missed. I'm sure there's little tidbits here and there. That's the main things. Actually,
I'm kind of fascinated that I can't hop this wall right now. I don't know if you see this. Oh, there it is. You can sometimes hop mid wall.
Are you talking about
top side? Top side close to blue side turret.
Oh yeah. This oh my God, dude, this wall is. I'll be honest. I sat in practice tool trying to hop this wall.
I got it once.
Yeah, I don't think I have ever gotten this wall consistently. Maybe if I like flash into the wall so I'm as close as possible. No, I
legit did it. I don't know how I did it, but I did it once.
There must be some little angle, but
so
probably
gross.
Not worth your time.
Probably not viable in a game. Anyways, yeah, let's continue.
Anyways,
let's continue.
We now get to. Oh, actually, I was gonna say last little thing with your E in terms of like kiting. Is it is actually really good at kiting melee champions, because the best Yones will use their Q range to like space auto attackers, right? So if you're like, let's say this is a Tryndamere, like poor side Tryndamere versus Yone, like I can like dance on the edge of his range, and even if he like gets on top of me, like I can E away, and then like I can keep queuing. Actually, let me get rid of this Q3. Like if he gets on top of me, like I can E away and then Q. Like stack up my Q, and then maybe he starts camping my body, but as soon as I go back, I just Q and knock him up and run away again. Yeah, so you can definitely use it to make time. You just can't use it to straight up run away, and it doesn't work. Oh, and I guess also last little thing that people like to do but isn't really a big deal is you can use your E to buy items. If you just barely got enough gold for an item, you can run back, buy it, and then snap back, and you're already on your way to lane. Yeah.
Perfect.
So yeah, I think that's most of the stuff with his E, but I mean like literally the uses are limitless. Like if you're mid and like, oh, like this honey fruit's here, like, ooh, let me just go get this honey fruit real quick, and then I save some time going back to lane, like even if it's just 3 seconds or whatever.
No, this is brilliant.
Just don't use it like completely randomly, because it is a long cooldown and it is like so useful that sometimes just having it is better.
Understood.
Especially when we start talking about like combos and things, you don't necessarily want to E right away for a lot of things.
Okay.
But now we finally get onto his ultimate. Wow. The cool, massive teamfight wombo combo ability, which honestly kind of sucks. A little bit. Like the ability is actually really strong. The problem is it's really hard to land. It has a really long pass time and it's really obvious, and the line, while it seems like decently big, is actually pretty small generally, right? Like it's really easy for someone to sidestep or flash or dash out of this, which is why I said your Q flash is so important, because your Q can actually guarantee your ult, right? If you Q and you ult, the target never has a chance to get out. So that's where Q flash comes into play, because if you're able to Q flash the ult, that is way fucking harder to respond to than just doing this, right?
Interesting.
And you can do it from really far away. Like QR flash can reach from, or like E, Q flash R can reach from like some insane distances. Like, all right, I can miss the Q on target on me, but you understand.
No, you're good. You're good. I get your point though. So
yeah.
Wow. Interesting. Okay, I got it. I think I got the combo.
So one thing that is
wow.
very minor detail. This is probably only for like Diamond Plus players. But actually, if you Q from right on, if you have your Q3 stacked and you Q from right on top of them, they will actually have a split second where they can flash out of your ult. Like, so if you pay attention to the target dummy's name and see when it's airborne, it has a split second there
where he's allowed to leave.
Where it's allowed to leave. So ideally, you want to land your Q from somewhere like around here, and then they will never have an opportunity to leave. So that's not really a big deal for most people, but definitely be careful if you're Q flashing on top of someone. If you flash right on top of them, they can sometimes dodge your ult.
No, this is perfect. Yeah, awesome. I did not know. I did not know that was like the bread and butter move. I've just been kind of flinging it in my tests, like a few games I've played this champion, but
yeah,
like I've just been flinging it and flinging it.
Well, honestly, it'll work against like a lot of people, and sometimes you can really catch people off guard because you can just be like walking around, whatever, and then whoa, I'm gonna go on you now, because it is quite long range. But if someone's prepared for it, it'll be really hard to land.
They'll just flash it a lot, or actually use an escape or something. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, cool. Yeah. Is this all you wanted to cover for now? I think we covered a lot, so we probably should queue.
Yeah. Okay. I'll just give you a couple quick things with ult.
Okay. Yeah.
Number one is there are some nutty wall hops you can do with ult. You can hop this wall.
Oh wow.
And you can hop it back all the way. For some reason, actually, you can't go this way on Baron, but you can go this way. it just has to do with the thickness of the wall a little bit, but you can make it all the way over.
Oh wow. So, Jesus.
Yeah, it's really crazy.
Oh, you really set in practice tool for this guy to figure that out.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah. And then also your ult is slightly longer range than the indicator shows. So like I can barely clip these target dummies, even though it just looks like it should be out of range, but I still hit them. So you can sometimes catch people off guard because they'll be like, oh, I can run out of range of this, and then they can't. This might miss. Oh, see, even that hit one of them.
Yeah.
I was like, even I thought that one would miss. So, and then okay, other last tiny thing is displacements change the angle of your ult. So like I'm gonna like aim for like this ward, but I'm gonna let dragon knock me back. Oh, I did too early. Okay, well this is awkward.
Yeah, that's okay. That's okay.
Okay.
I did it wrong too in my test.
Yeah, let dragon sit back. Well, it's hard because dragon is like this weird delayed knockback, but
got it. Yeah,
send me over here instead.
No, I see it. So it knocks you
away. The main
away.
use for this is if there's champions that have knockbacks, so like Vayne with Condemn or Tristana with her Buster Shot ult, you can actually ult while they're trying to knock you back, and you'll still like stay in line with them, and you can still hit them. And it sort of like makes it so like last time your ult is using up the knockback duration. It is also something to be careful about when you're playing against like an Alistar or something. If you're trying to ult, he can just headbutt you, and all of a sudden you have no idea where you are. Like you're 800 units to the left, and your ult's gonna completely whiff.
Okay, cool. That's it.
Yeah, those are the main things with Yone. There's like a bunch of little random stuff you can do here and there, but yeah, we can hop into a game and see how we do.
Oh, geez. That was a lot to take in. So wait, just a quick summary though. I mean, the big like engage combo is still the Q flash R. Like that's what we really want.
Yeah, it's gonna be something like Q flash R, auto W, auto Q, something like that.
So you don't even use your E at all in your main engaged combo?
Oh yeah, well, so if we're talking about combos, just a little bit really quick.
Just a quick one, yeah.
A lot of times you don't have to E to start the combo, because if you E and you start comboing this guy and you barely don't kill him or something, right, and you go back, you're gonna be really sad, right?
Okay.
And Yone is actually so strong, especially if you're fed. A lot of times you don't need the E damage to kill people, so instead you can use it after you alter something to say like chase, right? Because again, your E gives you this mini dash and this move speed, which ramps up, and you can just use it to chase people down. So
interesting.
So like for example, I actually had a competitive game where there was an enemy AD carry who was like sitting all the way back here on a ward, and I was just farming this wave, right? And I just did this. I just alt E'd and then Q'd, because again, Q is also like a bit harder to dodge than alt. And so I just used ult purely to get in range, because I knew that like running him down with E would be enough damage.
Oh, okay, cool. Noted. Perfect. Well, sweet.
Yeah.
I think
that's the most of it.
I did not know though. I did not know that there was this much stuff going on with him. I mean, I knew generally. It's a testament to your craft here, because there's a lot of things here that I don't know. It's the little details, like you said, they add up really quick.
And the one like final like really big tip, which actually I probably should have maybe started with, is so important on Yone, is your Q stacks are your lifeline, right? Having this dash ready lets you do so many different things, right? Lets you escape from ganks, lets you initiate fights, lets you do all sorts of different things. So you always want to try to have your Q3 whenever possible. So like even if I'm just like sitting here like farming these raptors or whatever, right? Yeah. Like I don't want to use this Q3 to like kill this last random raptor or something. I want to run around with it, because like what if there's someone farming here mid and I can like get on top of them?
Yeah, like, got it.
There. But, like,
perfect.
For example, like you can randomly start fighting someone, things like that. Because a lot of people won't expect you to just come out of the fog with Q3. Actually, something I'll have you do at the beginning of your game, most likely if you are playing mid, is try to Q this raptor over the wall. So that way, before you even go into lane, you have your Q3 ready. Perfect. Well, I'm excited. Hopefully we can get a game and we don't get stuck in Q purgatory for too long. Yeah, this is good. This is good. I'm gonna try to incorporate some of the stuff that I've seen here.